Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us here at Hampton Park this afternoon. My name is Wayne Haworth, the principal of our college, and I'm joined by Mr. Paul Brocker, who's one of the assistant principals at the school.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Today's presentation will be recorded, so if you've got other friends who've been unable to join us this afternoon, then you can refer them to the school or make the presentation available. We hope the presentation will be informative so that you can get a sense of what's happening and some of the really important and exciting changes that's happening at our school. If you've got questions today, we just ask you to continue to have your microphone muted. But if you can type in a question to us, we will receive that and we'll endeavour to answer that during today's presentation. Or if we don't get to that particular question, you can contact the school in the subsequent days and we can clarify that response for you. So today is a day where it's called Q&A, where questions to students will get answered. You may have questions for Paul and I, but I think that I often say that every principal or assistant principal will be proud of their school, will puff their chest out and be excited and proud. But I think there's a lot of power in hearing it firsthand from our students. So that's why we've invited some Year 7 or our Explore program students to join us today. So you can hear firsthand of their experiences because they live it every day. So today is the day prior to students returning to school, and that is some senior students. And these students today that I'm going to introduce to you soon have taken time out of their day to be with us to help you answer some of the questions. Can I just say to you, I joined the school at the start of 2019. I have lived in the area for a number of years and then became a principal of a school at the other side of Melbourne. And after 4 years of some significant work in that 4 years at the other school, I was really keen to move back into the southeastern suburbs and to make an impact. I'll make no apology. My aim is to come to the school and make Hampton Park the #1 secondary school in this area for local families. And with the support of the team here at the school and new programs and new opportunities, we'll achieve our goal. So last year we spent a lot of time speaking to staff about why we think that some changes are required, but also why, and more importantly, asking them what do they love about the school and what changes would they see, what gaps and opportunities are there. And clearly we did that with students and with parents as well. So with that in mind, then we spent the second half of last year looking at what are the new and additional programs that we could implement this year. Despite the challenges of the COVID-19 and the social distancing, etc., we got off to a really good start at the beginning of the year where students had a lot more choice in their learning. And obviously that work has continued somewhat differently in a remote setting. Can I just say to you all that I've recently put an ad in the local paper that says one size fits all, one size doesn't fit all, and neither should education. And so what we're doing at the school, we are allowing for students to tap into their passions and also where their learning needs are, and then customise a program to suit their needs. We've only just started on that journey this year, so we've got still much work to do, and that's still unfolding. Year 7s that come into the school, Year 7s, we call them in their Explore program, are, we have considerable number of core subjects to get the foundation and lay the foundation for their subject choices, but still within the course of the year, they will get a chance to find their passion and explore something that they haven't had the opportunity to do before. So we'll explore that today, speaking to the students about their favourite subjects and perhaps why that is a preferred subject for them. If you think about the world that we live in, the world that we live in is changing really rapidly. Prior to COVID-19, and what we're talking about the world that we live in is becoming increasingly automated, where some employment areas of employment are evolving and other areas of employment are declining, and the world is changing really rapidly. And so what we need to do as a school, in order to better prepare students for that ever-changing world, we need to deliver education in a different way. We need to build the independent capacity of student. We need to get them to use their creativity, their critical thinking skills, and develop a sense of entrepreneurship so that they can, if they have trouble in the future finding employment, they can create, using their creativity, they can, and their business sense, they can potentially create their own work opportunities through an entrepreneurial lens. So we are developing programs that will better prepare students for the future in that way. So can I just say to you that before we invite our students in, the Year 7 program, you might have heard that we have a vertical program in our school, which means that we have multi-age classes. That doesn't happen for Year 7 students. Year 7 is a big year. You're coming from a primary setting into a secondary setting. It's really important that you develop a foundation. You get to know your teachers, the layout of the school, the programs, and some new friends, lots of new friends. And with that sense, students then provide a foundation. Moving into Year 8, we call it the 8 to 10 is the enhanced program. So after they've done the exploration in Year 7 through the Explore program, they're further seeing the areas that they would love and want to explore further and deepen their learning. And those classes, some of those classes are multi-age classes, where if you get students coming together who are like-minded students who want to explore music, for example, in lots of other schools it will be only students who are Year 7s will be in that new music class, and in Year 8 that music class, etc. But I'll put it to you all that age doesn't define an ability in music, and neither does it in maths and other subjects. So we have lifted the lid on the age groups of students, and we are allowing an extremely talented person to explore music regardless of their age. And in fact, some of the younger students could be actually more talented than some of the older students, and there can be this cross-fertilisation of ages. So the students you'll hear from today are not experiencing that multi-age classes yet, because they are in our Explore program, which is our Year 7 program. But I'll just might throw to Mr. Brocker. He might have a few additional words to mention today. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Wayne. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. Just to add to, as Wayne was talking about the Explore program, we believe that we're offering a fantastic curriculum program for our students coming to us. Very important transition into high school, and we feel that it's really important that students are with the same age students for that year, and together they explore a whole range of different subjects. So there are core subjects of English, EAL, mathematics, health and physical education, humanities, or in lieu of humanities, literacy intervention. So that is an additional support for students who require that additional literacy time. Then there are a whole range of tasters, which are 1 term in length. So the whole idea of that is lots of breadth and exposure to lots of different learning, which can then ignite those passions and interests for students moving into the future years of high school. So students will study 6 subjects per semester, and of those subjects they'll have tasters, 3 each per semester. So they can choose those, and most of which will run across the year, so they won't be too disappointed if the subject doesn't run, because this year we've seen nearly all of the tasters run at least once across the year. So there's lots of choice. Because, as Wayne said, we want to empower students to customise and personalise their learning here at HP. So that's a bit about the curriculum program. There's also lots of other opportunities in leadership, inter-school sport, and other clubs. There's lots of lunchtime clubs running and things like that. So Lots on offer here, but I think it's probably best to hear from the students now, and they can tell you all about it. Thanks.
All right, we might invite one of our students to join us one at a time, and we might call upon Jonathan. Would you mind coming down? And as I mentioned earlier, if you've just joined us, thanks for joining us today. If you have questions for the students and myself or Paul, please, if you can type in your question through the chat function, rather than and keeping your microphone on mute, that would be just helpful for our presentation today. So Jonathan, welcome, and thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. This is a day where, again, I'll remind you and the audience that you didn't have to be at school today, Jonathan, did you?
Yeah.
And you've taken time out to come and to share your experiences with some families who might be thinking about coming to the school next year, is correct?
Yeah.
All right. So, Jonathan, can I just ask you just a really open and general question at the start, and that is, what's your experience been like so far this year? I know that we've just come out of, 6 or 7 weeks of remote learning, but cast your mind back to term 1. So you're a newbie at our school. You've got friends and connections from primary school, and you're meeting lots of new people for the first time. What was that like?
It was actually really exciting, because once you actually met the people, you feel comfortable and feel like you have a sense of belonging. And some of the people will be really helpful, and they'll help you throughout everything.
Okay. We have about 200 students in our Year 7 program coming from a large number of schools. And so how long did it take for you to feel really comfortable and with lots of new faces, both staff and students?
It didn't take really too long, because once you made friends and you hang with them and you feel comfortable with your teachers of math and English, you will feel really comfortable, and they will help you even if you're stuck or you can't find a class.
Yeah. Jonathan, we had a camp early in the year, if you remember that camp.
Yeah.
Did you go on the camp? You didn't go on the camp. So some of your friends that went on the camp, can perhaps what sort of comments were they making when they came back? Do you recall that?
They were like, "Oh, it was so fun," and they made heaps of new friends. And then
yeah. Well, we've got Savali joining us soon, so we might ask that question to her about her experience on the camp. But we have multiple camps on offer at our school where students can, as you know, school is about developing the whole self, and through experiences on camps, taking calculated risks, you're supported, you grow in confidence, you get to know new people. The Year 7 camp is a transition camp, so going away for a couple of days and nights means that you accelerate those relationships and you feel a lot more connected in a much shorter period of time. All right, I've got a couple of extra questions for you, Jonathan, before we invite Savali across. So what do you like about secondary school? You've had an interesting year with remote learning thrown in there, which not too many Year 7s in the past have had. So what have you liked about being at this school, at our college?
I like how there's lunchtime clubs. When you have nothing to do at lunch, you can go there, and then you'll meet new people, make new friends, and how supportive the teachers are during classes and outside in the yard.
Well, speaking of supportive, remote learning has thrown some massive challenges to lots of students in lots of schools. How well did you feel supported during that time? In fact, that time is still happening, isn't it, for you? Because students in Year 7 and 8 do not return until the 9th of June. But so how well have you felt supported by the staff at the school?
I feel really, they are really supportive to us. When they can't answer back straight away, they'll let us know. And when we ask questions and they're there, they will answer straight away and they'll help us.
Can I ask you, are you looking forward to joining all your friends back on the 9th of June?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited.
Okay. And what have you missed the most out of the, I guess I'll just say, the typical program here at the school? What have you missed during the remote learning time?
The training we have for rugby.
Oh, the training. Okay. And so it's that social interaction with your friends then?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. Can I just ask you this question? Lots of parents have asked me over the years and in my previous school about safety. You know, you're coming from primary school into a secondary school. You're coming as a, when you're in grade 6, you're like the big fish in the school, and you come into the secondary school and you're like a little fish. Safety is really important, and I know it's really important to a lot of parents out there, and it's really important as the principal of the school. So can I ask you, Jonathan, how safe do you feel at our school?
I feel really safe because everyone helps you, and like even students that are older than you, like in year 11 and 12, like if you ask them, they will help you.
Jonathan, you know, we've introduced a new program this year, and you won't necessarily know that it's new because you weren't here last year, but we've introduced mentoring. Could you talk to the parents a little bit about mentoring and what that's been like for you this year?
Mentoring is where a teacher helps you and informs you on all the new things about the school and what's about to happen. So when it actually happens, you're not scared and you don't feel worried, you feel safe. And like, it's actually really enjoyable to have mentoring as one of our sessions.
I'll just say to the families out there, you know, often in schools there's a focus on the traditional subjects, and that is very important, but there's also the development of the whole person. And so there's lots of questions and support that, you know, often schools struggle to fit it into their normal program because they're trying to push through the maths and so on. So at our school this year, we've created a mentoring program where a teacher looks out for students, gives them lots of support in relation to their learning, but also their personal and self-development. So some study skills. Later in this year, we'll be doing some things around careers and pathways, but also around your social and emotional development. So I'm glad you've liked that. I might let you go in a moment, but I've got one more question for you. All right, Jonathan. You mentioned before, I think before we were off camera, you mentioned about your favourite subject. So I'm really keen on students coming to Hampton Park and exploring their area of passion. Because if you explore your area of passion, you can then be so connected with it, you can deepen your learning. So can I ask you, what is your favourite subject and why?
My favorite subject is health and PE because, like, me and other people, like almost everyone wants to live a healthy lifestyle, and in order to stay healthy, you have to be fit. And people like this session will help you stay fit, and it will help you like have a healthy diet, and then it will help you throughout everything.
Okay. I know there'd be some parents out there saying, Jonathan, don't you like maths, and what about English and stuff, that other stuff that's really important? Can I ask you, this is a curveball again, so what's your learning been like in maths and English this year? Are they subjects that you look forward to? Do you find them a little bit more challenging? Maybe what are some of the topics you've been doing? What have you been doing in English this year?
In English, we've been learning about figurative language and like how it works, and like we had to write a story about that and about using figurative language, and then like it's like they help you a lot.
Okay. And are you reading a book for English? What book are you studying?
I forgot the name of it.
Forgot the name. Were you reading that in term 1 or?
We're reading it term 2 and next term.
Okay. All right. Jonathan, I thank you for your time today, and these are some of these questions were questions without notice, but I want you to thank you again for supporting our community. And I say our community is not just this school, our community is the Hampton Park community, because I see as more than our school, we are an important part of this community. So thank you for giving up your time and coming into us today. We might call you back towards the end for some additional questions. We might invite Savali to join us. Savali, hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us today. It's a little bit strange speaking to a computer, but I guess you've probably been used to that over the last few weeks with the remote learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Vali, there's been some questions around your favourite subject. So tell us a little bit about you. What primary school did you go to before you came here?
I went to Rivergum.
Rivergum.
Yeah.
All right. So good school, just right across the road.
Yeah.
And you've had a lot of friends join you across from there to here.
Yeah.
And what's the start of the year been like for you? Obviously, again, the remote learning's been a bit strange and quite different this year for everyone. But again, going back into term one, what was that like for you?
Well, like I was nervous and excited at the same time because like I was nervous that I wouldn't make friends, but like I had other friends that like was making new friends, so that actually got to help me to make new friends.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, friendship is really important. Against a sense of connection at the school, and it can be. It's a lot of. I know a lot of grade sixes would be out there today thinking, "I'm excited about the future, about next year," but at the same time, I'm a bit nervous. So that's probably a very normal reaction.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Jonathan was saying earlier, I think, that you went on the camp.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about what was that like? Were you, where did you go? What was the camp like? Where did you go?
Oh, I forgot where we went, but yeah, but it was actually fun. I actually made a lot of friends, especially the people that were in my cabin.
Yeah, you know what? It's not really that important where you went. It's about the fun that you have there and the experiences. So what sort of activities were you doing? And were the teachers making you do schoolwork, or did you push that stuff aside and you got into really sort of physically challenging activities?
Yeah, so like there was this we did a lot of fun activities. Like for example, we went snorkeling and we went on the swing, but it was big though, and yeah, I was scared. So yeah.
Scared, but you had a crack.
Yeah.
And you overcame your fear.
Yeah.
And was it? Did that give you extra confidence?
Yeah.
So when you came back after being on camp, sorry, the sun's slightly in my eyes here, but when you came back from camp, did you feel like you have made some additional friends?
Yeah, a lot of friends.
A lot of friends. Fantastic. We asked Jonathan before what was his favourite subject. Can I ask you what do you enjoy?
Well, I enjoy drama because like in drama it's fun and you can be whoever you want and no one will judge you. So
when you say no one will judge you, I'm interested you to talk to the parents out there, because often people are reluctant to do things outside of their comfort zone in fear of judgment from other students. So are you telling me that you are quite comfortable to perform in front of other people, some which you don't know very well, without fear of judgment?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, right. What experience have you had in the past with drama? Is that something you did in primary school?
No, we didn't. Yeah, so like we didn't have drama in primary school. Like we just did the basics to help us learn.
Yeah, okay. Did you do a school production or something like that?
Yeah, in my old school.
Okay, so you have had, and were you a part of that?
Yes.
Okay. So you like performing then?
Yeah.
Awesome, fantastic. With drama being your favourite subject, so there are a lot of schools where drama, you don't get the chance to do that in Year 7. In fact, last year I believe that we didn't have that as a subject you could do at this school. So are you glad that we're now giving students some choices about their learning? And what does that mean to you?
Well, like it means to me that like we have more opportunities to pick what we like to do. For example, like I don't know what we do in drama, but I just picked it because I knew it would be fun and it would help me to make more friends and yeah. Okay.
Can I just say to everyone that we have, if you go onto our website and look up our curriculum, and our 2019 handbook is up there. That's for the that was produced last year for this year, 2020 handbook. Sorry, and we are currently in the process of finalising our 2021 handbook. But you'll be able to see the subject offerings and what are the various pathways that those subjects will lead to. There's an amazing array of subjects for students to explore. And if you choose a particular subject, for example, Fantastic Beasts is one of the subjects that I've recalled, and I know that lots of students have talked to me about that in term 1. Choosing a subject in isolation of not knowing where it's going to lead to is exciting, but it's also very limiting, I guess, in a way. But if you go to our handbook, it will show you that if you choose a particular subject, where it will lead to. If you love that, what else could you do in the future to build upon those skills and that learning as you move your way through the school and up into the senior levels in VCE or VCAL. Savali, what about safety for you? You're obviously, Jonathan's a boy and you're a girl, so speaking on behalf of girls at the school, what can you talk to the parents about safety? How safe do you feel at the school?
I feel really safe because I have siblings and cousins that really help me, and especially friends that support me through challenging things, and they help me.
So when you're at the school and you're not sure about things, who can you go to? I mean, apart from going to friends and some family friends like cousins, etc., are there certain staff in the school that you could go to?
Yeah, there's teachers from my subjects that I can go to and ask questions if I need help too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have a good relationship with your mentor teacher? Because you see them every week, or you've been seeing them through a computer every week recently, but do you have, and your sub-school leaders and the sub-school learning team, are you able to, do you feel connected and supported by them? Okay. All right. At primary school, you have usually a major teacher and a few specialist teachers, and at secondary school, you have quite a large number of teachers. So how has that been for you this year? Have you adapted pretty well to that? What's that like to have so many different teachers?
Yeah, it's fun to have teachers to help you through things that you need help with, especially your teachers, your mentor teachers, because they can really help you and update you with things that are happening, and yeah.
So we have an area in the school where most of the Year 7 program takes place. We have an area in the school where most of the Year 7 subjects take place.
Yeah.
What's that called? And do you want to explain to parents what does that little area look like?
I don't know what to call it, but that's the area where Year 7s, when you don't feel safe, that's where Year 7s usually go in. Yeah, that's the safe where no big kids go to that place, but makes you feel safe. Are we talking
about the FLS?
Yeah.
Okay. So the FLS is the flexible learning space. It's where a lot of junior classes are placed, and it's an opportunity where, as I said earlier to you, the Explore program students have a program that is specific to them, and they're in their transition year. Mr. Brocker, Paul mentioned to you at the start the core subjects, and we've had it, and the tasters, those electives. And clearly you move out of that space for drama, don't you? Because you need to have a specialised space for that. If you're doing PE, you move to the gym. If you're doing food, you would go to the kitchen, etc. So we have specialist teaching spaces, but your core subjects are generally based in the FLS. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that's where your lockers are near that area too, aren't they? Yeah. Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to share that we haven't talked about today?
No.
No? Jonathan? No? Do we have any questions come through? Or just bear with me in a moment. I'm just checking whether any questions have come through. Okay, so I've got some questions here. I'm just reading them. So many students moving from primary to high school. Do you get the books and book lists, a uniform, etc.? So let me say that about that. We really want our students at the school to have a one-to-one device, and that is a laptop that they bring to school with us, so we can put our learning, it enhances their learning. We also have lots of opportunities where learning programs are online and students can tap into those. So the students who are perhaps want to stretch themselves and go forward, they can access those additional learning tasks. Students who have been away can access those stuff. But we do have a book list, and we do have books in our college. We have uniforms, a uniform program. We have, I think, pride in the uniform and pride in our school is really important. So PSW are a uniform supplier, and they're located on the South Gippsland Highway, not too far from the school. There's a question here, how many classes are there? At the school, and this is regardless of year level, generally students they have 6 subjects. When you're in year 12, you may have 5 subjects, or 4 depending on your program. But in the junior levels, you have 6 subjects. Yeah, in year 7, the English goes for a whole year. If you're a student as English may be an additional language, or EAL, that's a whole year subject, of course. Maths is a whole year subject. Health and PE is a whole year subject. Humanities can be a whole year subject, but if the students need additional literacy support, as Paul said, we have literacy intervention, and that might take the place, of the humanities. Science is for a semester. However, students can choose an elective which is science-based, so they can end up doing it for the whole year, or have an additional science subject should they wish to have. Overall, we've got subjects, core subjects, and we have some tasters for them. Are there any other questions or comments today? And I know the sun is increasingly going in my eyes, so apologies for that. But can I thank the 2 students for joining me today, Jonathan and Savali, for their time and coming in on a day where they are not required at school to assist new students and parents in their decision about their secondary school. And can I thank you for taking the time and showing some interest in our school. As I mentioned at the start, if you have any additional questions, you can feel free to call the school. I imagine as restrictions in schools continue to be lifted and evolve in that space, that we'll be probably having some on-site tours available, perhaps later in the term, and maybe if it's not this term, it will be next term. But I'm happy to show you around. I think some parents often say, well, Wayne, I can come, how about I come after school where all the students have gone home? You can show me around then. And I'd be happy to show you around then. But I'll say this one thing to you, that a school is a collection of buildings without students. If we do not have students at our school, and we do not have learning happening, it is just merely a collection of buildings. So I suggest to you, whatever school you're looking at in the future, please go to the school when you can, of course, but when the daytime program is in operation, because then you'll get a real sense of the school, and you'll get a real sense of the culture and the vibe of the school, and that will help guide you make your decision. Can I thank you for everyone for joining us this afternoon, and I bid you a good afternoon.